Hello everyone and welcome to another random bits and pieces segment from my brain, and today, sit a while, for we are playing some more Franchise Hockey Manager 6 as part of the Ottawa Senators. Alright, so that's it. 2013, this is the last stretch of the season. We have 7 games to play in April before the playoffs kick in. We will be in the playoffs. The matchups are not quite decided yet. There's quite a few different ways that this all could go down, so we're not gonna spend too much time speculating about that. We still have Spizza and Datsuk hurt. Looks like Spizza's gonna be back shortly before Datsuk. Hopefully around the time that the playoffs start. So April is going to be underway here. I anticipate that this is going to be somewhat of a long video. Tend to be when I get in the playoffs, especially if I go deep. So I'm gonna go ahead and start now. Alright, Patrick Kane extends his point streak to 13 games. He had a goal against the Red Wings. Pretty good. Oh, Eugene Melnick went back to being happy of my work and not just satisfied. Last month we went 11-3. Alright, that's good. So a lot of away games. We're going to be playing 5 games on the road and 2 at home for that last stretch there. Patrick Kane extends his point streak to 14 games. He got a goal against the Wild this time. Alright, and now we are going to be in Boston to play the Bruins. Boston is doing pretty alright. They are 45, 22, and 9, and that's good for 6th in the East. We are 2-2-1 against Boston this season, so they've been giving us some problems. And of course, we don't have all of our best players right now, and we're going to go with Brian Elliott. They are going with Ryan Miller. And we won that 5-2, so good start to the month here. We outshot Boston 44-34. Patrice Bergeron was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Eric Condroy was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Chris Kelly was the third star with a goal and an assist as well. So we took a 2-0 lead into the first period. Chris Kelly scored on the power play from Eric Condroy and Patrice Bergeron, and it was 1-0 Sens at that point. And then Eric Condroy scored from Patrice Bergeron and Patrick Werkach, and it was 2-0 after 1. Then in the second period, the Bruins cut our lead in half, but then Sam Gagner scored from Zach Smith and Martin Ansel, and it was 3-1 Sens after 2. Then in the third period, the Bruins came back to within 1, and it was 3-2 Sens, but then we scored 2 more goals. Joe Thornton scored from Chris Kelly and Roman Josi, and then David Legwan scored from Braden Shan, and it was a 5-2 victory for the Sens. Alright, pretty good start to the month. Oh, Brian Elliott is hurt. Do I have to recall somebody? No, I don't have to yet. That's a playable injury, so he can back up if Niemi starts. That's okay. Alright, then we're going to go home for 1 quick game before we hit the road for 4 games. Ryan Parent and Justin Peters are both available on waivers. Oh, Nick Backstrom is hurt for the Capitals. A strained PCL. I mean, he's gonna miss 6 weeks. Not good for Washington. But before he got hurt, he found the time to get 3 goals and an assist against the Carolina Hurricanes. And Yevgeny Dadonov fresh new acquisition of the Sens in real life. Had a pretty good game. He had, excuse me, he had a hat trick against Tampa Bay. All right. All right, and Zach Dalpe is available on waivers. Alright, so now we have Philadelphia in town. Flyers are doing really good. They actually are doing better than us. They are 56-17-4. That's good for fourth in the East, but only because of the way that they seed teams. They should be higher than us on points alone. We are 1-1 against the Flyers this season. So are we going to start Elliott despite the injury, or are we going to go with Niemi? Nope, Brian Elliott is going to play with the pain. And the Flyers for that game are going to send Peter Budaj in net. And we won 4-2. The Flyers actually outshot us 29-21 in that game. Eric Condra was the first star. He had a goal and an assist. Jeff Carter was the second star with 2 assists. And Patrick Werkach was the third star with an assist. 18,763 people in attendance for this game. Alright, so Patrick Eaves opened up the scoring in the first period from Joe Thornton and Patrick Werkach. It was 1-0 Sens at that point. And then Philadelphia tied the game. And then with 1 second left to go in the first period, Eric Condra gave us the lead back with a goal assisted by Brooks Like. So it was 2-1 Sens after 1. In the second period, Philadelphia tied the game. It was tied at 2 going into the third. And then in the third period, we had Patrice Bergeron scored a game winner from Eric Condra and Drew Doughty. And then later, Braden Shen scored from Eric Carson and David Legwan. Made it 4-2 Sens, and that's how it ended. Another nice little victory. Patrick Kane extends his point streak to 15 games. He had an assist against Nashville. Nice little stretch there. Mike Camilleri lights the lamp. For all of you Kings fans, they didn't trade him or let him go. 4 goals for Camilleri against Dallas. Alright. Tom Pyatt is on waivers, and so is Daniel Carcillo. Alright, and we are now in Carolina to play the poor Carolina Hurricanes. They have won a few games since the last time we played them. That's still not good enough. They are dead last in the East. I'm pretty confident to say they are dead last in the league with a record of 14-55-9. Oh, it's tough for the Hurricanes. Alright. So we're going to go with Brian Elliott for that game. They're going to go with Semyon Varlamov. Ha! We lost 3-2. Alright. There you go. Hurricanes just beat a good team. We outshot the Hurricanes 42-21. Justin Schultz was the first star of the game with an assist. Eric Carlson was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Semyon Varlamov was the third star with 40 saves. Right, there was a fight between Chris Terry and Chris Kelly, not to be confused. That was in the first period, nobody scored. Then in the second period, we opened up the scoring. Brooks Like scored from Eric Condra and Eric Carlson. It was 1-0 Sens, but then the Hurricanes scored twice, made it 2-1 Carolina after 2. Then they took a 3-1 lead into the third period, and 26 seconds after they did that, Eric Carson scored from Braden Shen and Alexander Radulov. It was 3-2. Looked like maybe we had a shot, but Semyon Varlamov had a really good game, and we could not score another one. So the worst team in the league just beat us right before the playoffs. Patrick Kane extends his point streak to 16 games. He had a goal and 2 assists against Nashville. And in that same game, Duncan Keith had 3 goals and 2 assists. Oh, just that. Yeah, Chicago is really good now. So for a while in my sim, they really weren't. But of course, you know, they got all of those really good players without having to draft them, because I have rookies enter with the game with the team that actually drafted them or acquired them. So, yeah. Alright, and we are in Florida now to play the Panthers. Florida is also doing good. They are third in the East because they are at top of their division. They are 44, 29, and 5. However, we are 3-0 against Florida this season. For some reason, speaking seems difficult today. I'm not sure why. So we're going to go with Antti Niemi in net. Jacob Markstrom is going to be in net for the Panthers. And, oh, we bounced back pretty good. We won 5-2. We outshot Florida 35-17. Patrice Bergeron was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 2 assists. Braden Shen was the second star with 2 goals and an assist. And Alex Pietrangelo was the third star with 2 assists. So, oh, wow. So Florida actually took a 2-0 lead into that game. So it was 2-0 Florida after 1. And then we tied the game in the second period, so we had Braden Shen score from Patrice Bergeron and Erik Karlsson, and then Patrice Bergeron scored his 20th from Braden Shen and Alex Pietrangelo. It was tied at 2 after 2. And then we ran away with the game in the third period. Chris Kelly scored from Alex Pietrangelo and Sam Gagner. Then Braden Shen scored his 35th from Patrice Bergeron, and then Erik Karlsson scored in an empty net from Jacob Silverberg. And 5-2 was the final score in that game. Looks pretty good. Patrick Kane extends his point streak to 17 games with a goal and 2 assists again, this time against Columbus. Wow. Red light stays on for Sidney Crosby, who had a hat-trick against the Capitals, 3 goals. Lars Eller is back from suspension in St. Louis, back in the lineup. Joe Pavelski has a good game. He had 3 goals and an assist against the Stars. Oh, Jason Spezza should be back in a couple weeks now. That's good. Alexander Perezogin is available on waivers. Not gonna pick him up. Cannot anyway. Brian Elliott on the edge of returning. That's good. I don't like for my players to be hurt. And we're going to be playing in Tampa Bay now. Tampa Bay is not going to be in the playoffs this season. They are 32, 36, and 11. That's good for 10th in the East, but they are 11 points out of 8th place with 3 games to go, so that it is mathematically impossible for them to get in the playoffs. And we are 2-1 against Tampa Bay this season. Alright, Antti Niemi is going to be in net again for us, and Dustin Tokarski is going to be in net for Tampa Bay. And we won 2-0. Alright, nice little shutout. We outshot Tampa Bay 37-16. David Legwand was the first star. He had a goal. Andre Palat was the second star without any point, and Martin Ansel was the third star with an assist. Alright, so in the first period, Patrick Eves opened up the scoring. That was an unassisted goal. And then there was a fight between Radko Gudas and Zdeno Chara. So two tough guys there punching each other in the face. Or on the helmet or something. Right, and then nobody scored in the second, and all the way into the third period, David Legwand scored his 5th from Brooks Laich and Martin Ansel, made it 2-0 Sens, and of course that's how the game ended. Yay! And right before the playoffs, we lost another player. Eric Condra is hurt for 3 months. A torn rib cage muscle. Alright. So I'm gonna have to recall somebody who wants to come play in Ottawa. As usual, sorry I'm quiet. I'm just looking at everybody and everything, trying to figure out who's going to come and play. I think we're gonna get Andersley up. All right. Dynamic passing leads to products of night for Alex Goligoski with Pittsburgh. He had 4 assists against the Flyers. Dynamic passing leads to products of night for Keith Yandel of the Wild. He had a goal and 5 assists against Detroit. Pretty good game. Suspension for Taylor Chorney. He is going to miss 7 games with the Oilers. Alright, Brian Elliott is fully recovered, and I have to give Andersley a number. Why do you want number 9? Oh, 27 is taken. Here, I have 28. Alright. Wow, lots of good passing nights for people. Prolific passing night for Mark Stahl. He had 4 assists against Toronto. A surge of assists all of a sudden. Alright, and now we are going to be in Philadelphia, playing against the Flyers. We just played them a few games ago, and we managed to win. Now, hopefully we win again. That's going to be on the road. Flyers are now 56-20-4. They are still 4th in the East. And we are now 2-1 against the Flyers this season. Alright, so Antiniemi in net for us. Still Sergei Bobrovsky is going to be in net this time for the Flyers. And we won 4-1. We outshot the Flyers 43-24. Patrice Bergeron was the first star. He had a goal and an assist. Drew Doughty was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Erik Karlsson was the third star with a goal and an assist as well. So Drew Doughty opened up the scoring in the first period. That was a power play goal from Alexander Radulov and Erik Karlsson. Then the Flyers tied the game at 1, but Erik Karlsson scored his 25th from David Legwand, made it 2-1 Sens after 1. Then in the second period, Braden Shen scored from Patrice Bergeron, made it 3-1. And then there was a fight between Jeff Carter and Zdeno Chara. Wow. And then finally in the third period, Patrice Bergeron scored from Drew Doughty and Alex Pietrangelo, 4-1, the final score today. Sam Gagner converts to left wing. Alright, and we're going to have one more game to play. That's going to be at home against the Jets here in just a second. Report time running out for Capuano to engineer a turnaround. Well, yeah, there's one game left in the season. Amidst reports of friction in the dressing room, several news outlets are reporting that Jack Capuano's job as head coach of the Buffalo Sabres could be in jeopardy. Buffalo are 32-42-7 this season. They are not going to be in the playoffs for a while. They look like they might be fighting for a spot, but looks like they lost too many games in the stretch. Strong night for Alex Burrows with the Capitals. He had a hat-trick against the Hurricanes. Sidney Crosby also had a good game. He had 3 goals and an assist against Tampa Bay. In that same game, Patrick Sharp also had a good game. He had 4 assists. Henrik Zetterberg played in 1,000 games in his career. Didn't get a point to celebrate that. It happened against Nashville. 32 years old, Henrik Zetterberg is still a 4-star player. Alright. Patrick Kane extends his point streak to 18 games with a goal and 2 assists against the Blues. Yeah, nobody's able to stop him. He's had some pretty good games along the way. Right, and Winnipeg is in town. Winnipeg is 38, 37, and 6. Despite that, they will not be in the playoffs this season. And we are 3-0 against Winnipeg this season. Alright, so they're going to send Andre Pavlich in net, and we're going to go with Brian Elliott. And we lose the final game of the season 3-2. We outshot Winnipeg 37-27. Derek Stepan was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Martin Ansel was the second star with a goal. And Brian Little was the third star with 2 assists. Alright, so we had 16,603 people in attendance for this game. Anders Lee scored on the power play to open up the scoring from Alex Pietrangelo and Joe Thornton. Was 1-0 Suns, but then Winnipeg scored twice before the end of the period, and it was 2-1 Winnipeg after 1. Then in the second period, Martin Ansel tied the game from Eric Carlson and Sam Gagner, but then Winnipeg scored again, made it 3-2. And then nobody scored in the third, and we lost this game 3-2. Ugh. Well, playoffs are going to be tough. In the final game of the season, we lost Braden Shen for 3 months. So basically, he was our best player with all of the injuries and everything. He was playing really well. Had almost 40 goals. But now he has a torn labrum. And he's going to miss 3 months. And in that game against us, Ilya Kovalchuk has reached 500 goals in his career. Got a goal and an assist against us. So 29 years old, Ilya Kovalchuk is still a 3.5-star player. Alright, I'm gonna take care of the Braden Shen situation. Now, the good news is that Spezza should be back soon, but that still hurts. Alright, we're gonna get Maxime Sauvé up. I know that he is only an alpha star, but he's been playing well in the AHL, so let's give him a shot. He's probably just gonna warm the bench anyway. Alright. So we're going to sim here and see the playoff 3, what it looks like. Patrick Kane extends his point streak to 19 games. Nobody can stop him. Got 2 assists against the Blues. Maxime Sauvé can get number here 57. That looks like the number of a guy that just got called up. Alright, my wings are depleted. Alright, let's look at all the nominees. So the art nominees are Claude Giroux, John Tavares, and Sidney Crosby. All from the same division. The Vizina is going to be between Brian Elliott, Corey Crawford, and Marc-Andre Fleury. Let's see, Elliott. Yeah, I think Corey Crawford is going to win that. Chicago barely lost this season. The Norris is going to be between Cam Fowler, Duncan Keith, and Eric Carlson. Calder between Corey Conacher, Johnny Gaudreau, and Nazem Kadri. GM of the Year is going to be between Brett Hull, Craig Patrick, and Jim Rutherford. The Selkie between Chris Kelly, Jay McClement, and Joe Pavelski. Lady Bing between Marcus Johansson, Michael Frolik, and Mike Camilleri. Mark Messier Leadership Award between Francis Bouillon, Mike Komisarek, and Vili Peltonen. Ted Lindsay between Claude Giroux, John Tavares, and Sidney Crosby. And finally, the Jack Adams between Daryl Sutter, Ken Hitchcock, and Mike O'Connell. Alright. So we are starting the playoffs against the Washington Capitals. So it's not a team we've played a whole lot in the playoffs so far, and we didn't do good against Washington. We went 1-3 against them. Washington was 41-31-10. Let's take a look at the playoff 3 real quick. So in the West, St. Louis is going to play against Chicago. Edmonton's going to play the Kings. Anaheim against Calgary, and San Jose against Nashville. And in the East, the Islanders are facing Pittsburgh. We're playing against Washington. Boston and Florida are playing together against each other. And Montreal and Philadelphia also in the first round. Alright, let's take a look at the Capitals. Alright, so at least we're not facing Nicklas Backstrom. He's still hurt, so that's good news for us, I guess. In net, they are extremely good. It's Tuukka Rask or Braden Holtby. Either or is an extremely strong goaltender. On D, they have Carl Alsner, Carlson, Green, Taormina, Carrick, Babchuk, and it's not too great, not too terrible, I suppose. Brian Bickle, Brunette, Clarkson, Ovechkin, Forsberg, Sushinsky, Bork, Burrows, Gordon, Olver, Efinogenov, Callan, Johansson, Canada, and Sexton up front. If we're not careful, we are going to get eliminated in the first round. Especially with all those injuries. Now Spezza's about to come back. He's day-to-day now. But he's not going to be there for the start. Alright, so we are hosting Washington. The playoffs are underway. Go, Sens, go. We're going to need a little bit of luck on our end. Alright, so they are going to start the playoffs with Braden Holtby, and we're going to go with Brian Elliott. Alright, we won the first game 5-1. Pretty good start. We outshot Washington 42-20. Roman Josi was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Alexander Radulov was the second star with a goal and an assist as well. And Chris Kelly was the third star with also a goal and an assist. We had 20,510 people in attendance for this game. So Roman Josi opened up the scoring in the first period from Chris Kelly and Sam Gagner, and then Zach Smith from Maxim Sauvé and Jacob Silverberg 2-0 Sens after one. So Maxim Sauvé here getting a point in the playoffs. There was a fight between Zdeno Chara and Ryan Callan, former teammates. Then in the second period, Alexander Radulov scored from Roman Josi and Patrick Werkach, made it 3-0 Sens at that point, and then Washington scored, made it 3-1. And then in the third period, Chris Kelly scored from Alexander Radulov and Joe Thornton, and then Joe Thornton from Drew Doughty and Brooks Laich, and we won that 5-1. Pretty good game to start. Prolific passing night for Matt Moulson. He had 4 assists against the Bruins. Alright, and in the other games, Anaheim beat Calgary, LA beat Edmonton, San Jose beat Nashville, St. Louis beat Chicago. Philadelphia beat Montreal, Pittsburgh beat New York, and Florida beat Boston. And of course, we beat Washington. Alright, Jason Spezza is about to be back. That is good. Alright, Washington in town again. They are going with Braden Holtby again. We are going back to Brian Elliott. We lost that one 2-1 in overtime. Alright, so we were outshot 32-26. Philip Forsberg was the first star of the game. He had a goal. Sam Gagner was the second star with a goal as well. And Mike Green was the third star with an assist. 19,750 people in attendance for this game. And we opened up the scoring in the first. It was Sam Gagner from Drew Doughty. Made it 1-0 Sens at that point. Then the Caps tied the game in the second period. It was tied at 1 after 2. Nobody scored in the third period, and then that went in overtime, and very early in overtime, 38 seconds in, Mark Olver scored the game winner, and we lost 2-1. Yeah, Spezza, that would be good if Spezza could be back up here soon. Alright, now for the other games, Anaheim beat Calgary again, Edmonton beat LA, Nashville beat San Jose, Chicago beat St. Louis. So those last three series are tied at 1. Montreal tied their series against Philadelphia. They won. Pittsburgh is up 2-0 against New York. Boston tied their series against Florida. And our series is tied as well. So a lot of series are tied at 1 right now. Alright, now we are in Washington to play the Caps yet again. We're going to go with Brian Elliott again. They are going to go with Braden Holtby again. And hopefully this time we can win. We lost 2-1 in overtime again. Yikes. Oof. Alright. Oh, wow. We outshot Washington 50-24. And we were completely robbed by Braden Holtby. And Mike Green was the first star of the game. He had an assist. Roman Josi was the second star with a goal. And Braden Holtby, third star with 49 saves. Wow, there were 2 fights in the first period. Nobody scored, but there were 2 fights. Ryan Callahan and Zach Smith got at it. And then about 10 minutes later, Alex Burrows and Zdeno Chara went at it against each other. So, yeah, it was a pretty brutal first period. Lots of penalties, too. And in the second period, we opened up the scoring. Roman Josi scored from Alexander Radulov. It was 1-0 Sens at that point. But in the third period, Alex Ovechkin tied the game at 1. And then it went in overtime. And again, we lost very early in overtime, 59 seconds in. And Drew Brunette scored, played the hero. And yeah. Okay, well, I don't know what to do anymore. Alright, so David Legwan is hurt for 2 weeks with a sprained wrist. And Zdeno Chara is hurt for 5 months with a broken bone in his elbow. So we're losing the series and we're losing soldiers there. So, oh, and apparently Roman Josi is hurt as well. They just didn't give me a news about it. Wow. Alright. I think I'm gonna get Spezza back. He should be... Well, is it playable right now? Yeah, game available. Okay. Let's get Spezza up. Alright, that takes the space of David Legwan, and then I need 2 defensemen. Alright. I guess I'm going to recall Ryan Whitney and Chris Weidman. Oof. That was somewhat brutal. Look at all those injuries. And it's not like my 4th line that's hurt. So Chara is hurt for a while. Datsyuk is still out for a while. Condra is out for a while. Legwan is out for a few weeks. Braden Chen for a few months. Roman Josi for a couple weeks. And Jason Spezza was just put back in the lineup with his day-to-day injury. Yeah. Well, they say you can tell a great team through adversity, so... Alright. There you go. Well, Spezza is completely recovered at least, so... Oh, for the other series, Calgary managed to win, so they're now trailing 2-1. LA is up 2-1 against Edmonton. Nashville up 2-1 against San Jose. Chicago up 2-1 against St. Louis. Montreal up 2-1 against Philadelphia. Pittsburgh up 3-0 against the Islanders. Boston up 2-1 against Florida, and of course we are trailing 2-1. Alright, let's see here what we can do with a very depleted lineup. We're going to go with Brian Elliott. The Caps are going to go with Braden Holtby. We lost that game 4-2, so our depth is being tested and we are not responding well. So we still outshot Washington 39-31. Ryan Callahan was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 2 assists. Brooks Laich was the second star with 2 assists, and Braden Holtby was the third star with 37 saves. So the Caps took a 2-0 lead into the first period, and then they also scored in the second, made it 3-0. And then in the third period they made it 4-0, and then Jason Spezza scored from Brooks Laich, and then Patrice Bergeron scored with 12 seconds left to go in the third period from Alex Pietrangelo and Brooks Laich, and of course it was too little too late, and we are now facing elimination. Zach Smith converts to center. I really expected this to be another injury news. Alright. David Legwan ready to return to practice. That's good for him, I suppose. Alright, Calgary tied their series at 2 against Anaheim. LA is up 3-1 against Edmonton. Nashville up 3-1 against San Jose. Chicago up 3-1 against St. Louis. Philadelphia tied their series at 2. Pittsburgh swept the Islanders. Boston managed to win, and we are facing elimination. Oh, why not? I mean, sure. Alright, so Drew Doughty is day-to-day. Minor injury in practice. Can he play with it? Oh, he can. Okay. Whew. Alright, and now Washington is back in town, and if we lose, that's over for us. Alright, Braden Holtby in net for Washington. We are going with Brian Elliott. And we are out in 5 games. Wow, first round exit. That hasn't happened in a very long time. We are doing worse and worse and worse. And my question is, where was Joe Thornton during that series? He didn't do much of anything. I counted on him. Well, I guess there's a reason I didn't re-sign him. Maybe he's upset that he's not gonna be back. But anyway, so I outshot the Caps 30-21. Philip Forsberg was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Erik Karlsson was the second star with an assist, and Anton Babchuk was the third star with a goal. 20,510 people left. Very, very, very sad because we got eliminated. So Washington opened up the scoring in the first, and then we tied the game in the second. It was Alex Pietrangelo from Erik Karlsson and Chris Kelly. And then Washington took the lead back. It was 2-1 after 2. Then we managed to tie the game pretty late in the third period, so we felt pretty good about ourselves. Sam Gagner scored from Alexander Radulov, but with 1 minute and 9 seconds to go, Anton Babchuk scored the game winner. And that's the goal that would send us to vacation. Alright, so that's another disappointing season, although with all the injuries that I got, I mean, I wasn't expecting all that much, to be honest. So the injury bug kind of got me. I know they say, you know, you can't use injuries as an excuse and everything, but if you look at all the talent that I have hurt sitting on the bench, well, that kind of explains why. Alright, so we're gonna Calgary won. Well, I'm not gonna pay, now that I'm eliminated, I'm not gonna pay super big attention to that. I'm gonna go ahead and check the playoff 3. Alright. Drew Doughty, I can play if you need me. Play what? We're eliminated. Jackass. Not a jackass, maybe a smarty pants. Alright. Oh, it's not all decided. Alright, and we have to select, we have to nominate a player for the Hall of Fame. Pat Verbeek, Ray Ferraro, Gary Galley, Sean Burke, Peter Svoboda, Jyrki Lume, Luke Richardson, Dale Hunter, Reed Larson, and Russ Courtnall. I guess I'm gonna go with Ray Ferraro because he played for a long time in my sim and he was so pretty good at the end, and also he makes me laugh in real life. I absolutely love the dry sense of humor of Ray Ferraro, so there you go. No, still not over, so let's do this. Alright, and that would be the last one. Alright. The last series to be decided. So now let's take a look. Alright, so Nashville is going to play Chicago in the second round. Calgary is going to play the Kings. Washington's going to play Pittsburgh. And Boston's going to play Montreal. Wow, some good matchups. Especially in the East. What I mean by that is, like, you know, rivalry type of matchups. I think Chicago's probably going to win the cup. They are way too strong, unless they had a bunch of injuries that, you know, weren't reported or something like that. I think that Chicago should get that. Alright. Romagnosi says, yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, you can go play darts with Drew Doughty. He's ready too. Alright, so Calgary beat LA. Chicago beat Nashville, Pittsburgh beat Washington, and Boston beat Montreal. Hopefully Boston can beat Montreal. LA won against Calgary, Nashville beat Chicago, so those two series are tied at 1. Washington tied the series against Pittsburgh with a win, and Boston took a 2-0 lead against the Habs. Well, now that's good news. Because if I'm eliminated from the playoffs, I sure as heck don't want for Montreal to win anything. Oh. LA took a 2-1 lead against Calgary. Chicago leads 2-1. Pittsburgh leads 2-1, and Montreal won, so Boston leads 2-1. So all the series are 2-1. Nobody facing elimination just yet. LA won against Calgary, Chicago won against Nashville, Pittsburgh won against Washington, and Boston won against Montreal, so there's 4 teams facing elimination yet. Could all end, the second round could all end tomorrow. probably won't, but it could. So LA eliminated, Calgary, Chicago eliminated, Nashville, Pittsburgh eliminated, Washington, Montreal is still alive. Alright. So there's only one series left, and Boston needs one win to get rid of Montreal. I can lend you a few players if you need them. How about Patrice Bergeron and Erik Karlsson? Would you like to have them? Oh, Montreal won again. Alright. Pavel Datsyuk, David Legwand. Alright, so game 7 between Montreal and Boston. Go Bruins, go. Oh yes, Boston won 2-1. Cool. And not only that, it's a different team. It seems like it's always the same teams that are facing each other deep in the playoffs. So to see Boston there is kind of cool for that. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that makes me happy because they eliminated Montreal. First and foremost, I'm not gonna be lying here. Right, so the Kings are gonna be facing the Blackhawks in the Western Conference Final, and Boston against Pittsburgh in the Eastern Conference Finals. And my pick, Chicago, is there. Yeah, I know that's the easy pick. Chicago was just so strong, but that's the thing. They're just so strong. I don't see them losing. I don't see an underdog doing it. I've been pretty good about picking the winner of the Stanley Cup when I was eliminated. Oh, now that could change things because Jonathan Toews just got hurt. He's going to be hurt for 2 weeks. So Pittsburgh won against Boston and Chicago beat LA. So that's how that starts for the conference finals. Alright, and Pittsburgh won again, but LA tied the series against Chicago. So Pittsburgh up 2-0, tied at 1 in the West. Kings taking advantage of that Jonathan Toews injury. Pittsburgh up 3-0, so they might sweep Boston. And LA took a 2-1 lead against my pick to win, the Chicago Blackhawks. Of course, I solidified my pick 1 day before Toews got hurt. Alright, well, Pittsburgh eliminated Boston in 4, and Chicago just tied the series at 2, so Pittsburgh is going to be in the Stanley Cup Finals, and they're going to face either the Kings or the Blackhawks. Oh, Chicago won 4-0. Now they are up 3-2. Alright. And Chicago eliminated LA. Dustin Brown got suspended in that last game. He's going to miss 6 games. That's going to have to go to next season. Alright. Alright. So, Stanley Cup Finals is going to be between the Blackhawks and the Penguins. 2 likely teams to face each other in 2013. I don't have a problem with that at all. Alright, Datsuk is back. You missed all of the fun, buddy. Alright. And who won the first game? Chicago won the first game of the Stanley Cup Finals against Pittsburgh. They won 3-2. Oh, now I get to vote for the Hall of Fame. Alright. Let's see. Brian Leach, yeah. Ed Belfour probably should be there. Patrick Roy. Probably Mike Modano. There you go. Alright, and Chicago won again, 5-2, so they're up 2-0 in the Stanley Cup Finals. Oh, Carl Alsner had a strange off-season workout, so he might get better. Alright, oh, Chicago won again, 4-3. They're up 3-0 against Pittsburgh, so Pittsburgh might get swept in the Stanley Cup Finals. And I got renewed for one more year. It's an automatic renewal, and my salary never goes up. So, of course, Eugene Melnyk is happy to have me around. He gets to pay me peanuts to do my job. And that's over. Chicago swept Pittsburgh in the Stanley Cup Finals, and they won the last game 4-3. So we get to see who all the winners are. Alright, so of course we know the Blackhawks won. Look at that record in the regular season, 69-8-5. That's pretty good. Alright. Salary cap, we don't really need anything about that. Crosby wins the Art. Duncan Keith wins the Connie Smythe. Corey Crawford was the Vizina winner, like I said he would be. Duncan Keith won the Norris. Johnny Gaudreau won the Calder. Jim Rutherford was the GM of the Year for the Islanders. Jay McClement wins the Selkie. Sidney Crosby won the Maurice Richard Trophy, so he scored the most goals in the regular season. He scored 71. Wow. What a season. 71 goals and 82 assists for 153 points. Nobody can stop Crosby, huh? Crosby also won the Art Ross. That's the most points in the season. Plus minus award, it goes to Duncan Keith. He finished at plus 85. Oh, only that. Mika Kiprusov wins the Roger Crozier Saving Grace Award, so that's the highest save percentage. The Jennings goes to Corey Crawford. And Mike Camilleri wins the Lady Bing. The Mill Masterton goes to John Madden. Mark Messier Leadership Awards goes to Vili Peltonen. Crosby wins the Ted Lindsay. Daryl Sutter wins the Jack Adams. The All-Star teams are named. And we had two players, Eric Carlson for the first team and Braden Chen for the second team. So Braden Chen was a good pickup for me. And that concludes the 2012-2013 season. So of course we didn't quite play up to par, there's going to be a big roster turnover for the next season. So I really suggest that you take a look at my next video as well. Players like Joe Thornton are not going to be back, so that's going to open up the roster for some different names, because I've had pretty much the same core of players for a while, but I'm making changes, especially with that first round exit there. I think we need to change a couple things, so stay tuned, that's gonna be coming. For now, I'm gonna go ahead and save my game though. Would hate to have to start back all over in 1992. So, well, that's it for today. So, as usual, I do want to thank you for tuning in. And if you've liked the video, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that good stuff. And until I roll this game again, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.